This has been Canada's best line in the game.
A month ago in Moscow, they were line mates, brothers in arms at the World Junior Championship.
Turns it over, puck jumps in front, scores! Zigomanis gets Canada on the board.
Mike Zigomanis of the Kingston Frontenacs scoring the tying goal against Sweden in the bronze medal game with an assist from Brampton's Raffi Torres. Then in overtime, they were back on the ice together with Torres blasting the winner right from the faceoff. Setting off a wild celebration and giving Canada the bronze medal. Since then, both have gone on to continue their all-star season.
Here's Zigomanis moving in, takes the shot, he scores!
Showing that scoring touch that has made them leaders on their respective team.
And here we go, Torres takes the shot, he scores!
Averaging well over a point a game. And today, Ziggy and Raffi meet again on opposite sides of the fence on the OHL Game of the Week.
Out in front, he scores. Has it on the boards.
The OHL Game of the Week, brought to you by Canadian Tire, still the right place. Dodge, proud sponsor of Major Junior Hockey. And by Bauer, leave an impression. Today, live from Kingston's venerable Memorial Centre, the Frontenacs host the Brampton Battalion. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Game of the Week. I'm Don Martin. Welcome to Kingston as we feature one of the hottest teams in the OHL at the moment, the Brampton Battalion. Only one loss in their last 11 games, virtually unbeatable since the trading deadline, and yet, ironically, they made only one deal. That was for veteran goaltender Brian Finley from the Barrie Colts. Problem is, Finley hasn't played in those 11 games. The man of the hour, January's OHL Rookie of the Month and Goaltender of the Month, 16-year-old Brad Topping, the youngest goaltender in the league, who has come on and done the job for Brampton. Of course, even he admits it's a pleasure playing behind the biggest defense in the league, the 7 defensemen averaging 6'4", 205 pounds. So that's the obstacle, that's the challenge facing Ziggy and the Frontenacs offense today. Now with more on the game, let's check in with Jack Miller and Jack Lynch. Boys?
Now let's meet our starting lineups for today's game, brought to you by Toyota Canada and its dealers. First of all, for the Brampton Battalion. And we'll be seeing a lot of these guys on the back end. Jason Maleko and Rostislav Klesla, Jay McClement, Raffi Torres, and Kingston native Chris Clayton will be up front. Clayton does not normally play on this line, but being a Kingston boy, Stan Butler likes to give them that opening face-off. For the Kingston Frontenacs, they'll go with veteran Eric Braff in his 4th year on the back end, paired with J.F. Seguin. Mike Zigomanis, Brett Cloutier, and Derek Campbell will be the go-to line for Larry Mavety today. In the nets for Brampton, Brad Topping, 24 games played, 2.91 average, 11-7-4 record with a .906 save percentage. Player or goaltender of the month in December for the Ontario Hockey League, I should say in January. Time is getting away from us here, but he's been outstanding. He's also the Rookie of the Month for the most recent month. And on the other side for Kingston, Peter Hammerlich has been in 40 games, 2.96 average, 17-12-7 record with 3 shutouts and a .911 save percentage. In the stripes this afternoon, the Ottawa area crew of Carmen Cox, Steve Corleone, and Derek Nansen are on the lines. Brampton into this game today without their leading scorer, Jeff Bateman, serving the 2nd game of a 6-game suspension for a check from behind. And nonetheless, even without that kind of a guy in your lineup, Jack, there's no question that Brampton has enough depth to overcome the loss of Bateman.
Oh, they've got a lot of depth, Jack. We're going to see as the game goes on. They have a nice balance to this hockey club.
Certainly do. Kingston in white, black, and gold. Brampton in green, black, and yellow. And we're underway with Brampton in possession of the puck. Klesla to Maleko, right back to Klesla, but a delayed offside against Kingston. And by number 14, Lou Dickinson. In the near corner, which draws the crowd on the boards. Coming in hard with the shoulder, Cook, puck back. And good puck support by the Brampton Battalion. Now they're going to get it out. Thompson, he might get a half a step here. Breaking to the net, got the shot away. And Thompson ends up in the goal.
Well, Thompson just broke away, starting at center ice, Jack, and a couple good strides. He got in on the net there and got a good attempt, and I think he kept looking back to the referee looking for maybe a penalty shot, but got that shot away, as you mentioned. You'll see it's a stride right here, and enough now he's on his forehand side to get a shot away, and this gets put out. You know, that's good effort there.
Torres got 2 assists in Ottawa last night. How is this for consistency? He has now scored 100 goals and 100 assists in the Ontario Hockey League.
Great numbers.
This is his 3rd season. Battle for the puck deep inside the Brampton zone. Kingston not there in time, and now the sticks go flying, and got a bit of a battle on the boards. Kind of early in the game for this to be going on, because these teams have yet to play each other this year.
Yeah, Derek Campbell's in there, and of course whenever there's this kind of pushing and shoving, he's right in the middle of it, and there he is trying to get things going here for the Kingston Frontenacs this afternoon. 5
power play goals on home ice. Right now they're back in their own zone. There's a wrist shot by Thompson, and Hammerlick's covering up, saying, wait a minute here, don't we have the extra man?
Well,
Kingston tries to take advantage. Iron Arrow at the end of his shift. He's driving hard. He and McClement get caught up in one another, and the 2 of them end up going to the ice. Iron Arrow something off the rush. Malenko losing it, cutting out in front. Scavarlo threw it out in front for McCutcheon. And they get wrestling in front of the net, and Kingston suddenly has found their legs.
They crashed the net. There's some fighting behind the net here, Jack. A couple of guys going at it.
Malenko and McCutcheon.
Well, they're pushing in front of the net here, too.
This is their first meeting at just 2 this season, and they already seem to have a little bit of a chip going against one another.
Scavarlo in front of the net.
Wide of the net. 10 seconds left, and the 1-man advantage for Kingston. They'll go from 1 up to 1 down. Here's McIver. Deep slot. Shoots it. Loose puck! And Topping is down, and I think he's got it. The team has come on. Now they just need to get Bateman back in the lineup. Kluche onside. Left wing scores! Brett Kluche lets it go for his 21st goal of the season.
Well, we were talking about Brett Kluche and his challenge this year to show his offensive ability, and boy, we saw a nice shot here. Eric Campbell makes a nice pass at center ice, and Kluche goes for the far side, and it was a nice shot. You'll see the play here. Here's the nice little pass. He gets just a step on the defenseman Klesla right here, enough that he can crank her up. There's the shot into the long side on Topping, and Topping's well out of his crease trying to block down that angle.
Long rink-wide feed. Left side. Torres! And oh, is he lined up nicely by McIver.
Boy, McIver set him up. You could see him line him up, and Raffy had just dropped his head for a minute and didn't actually see that coming. So Raffy's right up, right on his feet, and you'll see skating off for the intermission.
No, that was just a plain old good hit. That was a good hockey hit. Open ice, and Doug McIver delivers it on a suicide pass for Raffy Torres. As the buzzer goes, watch this one as Torres on the left of your screen. McIver's got it timed all the way. 1-0 Kingston. First intermission is coming up next. Italian coming away. Lucas Havel. Into the play goes McSwain. Havel, a nice move. Shoots and off this goal post. And then smothering it was Peter Hammerlick. Like McIver. Veteran defenseman threw it off the boards. It's going to be corralled. Brampton chance out in front. And whoa, what a save by Peter Hammerlick. He just robbed Chris Clayton.
In Buffalo that believes in that theory.
This could be a 2-on-1. Scavarlo down the right side, puts it out in front of the net. And Brody Todd is right there and pounding away. And holding his ground was Brad Topping. Oh, Brody Todd wished he had about another 2 feet there. Torres onside, scores! A carbon copy goal by Raffy Torres to the one that was scored by Brett Kluche. This game is tied.
Absolutely identical, Jack, except maybe a little bit higher in the net, but a good shot coming in off his wing. You see Hammerlick here. He challenges the shooter, but here's a nice little pass. Aaron Van Loosen, I believe, over to Torres, and he just hammers that puck, that big shot. Of course, we saw that shot over in Moscow, and as we mentioned earlier, the bronze medal winning shot, and he knows how to crank it up.
The slot, Zigomanis was dumped as he got the shot away, which comes in wide. Puck dangerously close in front. Zigomanis scores! Kingston retakes the lead as Zigomanis gets his 31st of the season.
Well, Ziggy showed great patience on this shot, Jack. The puck's lying out in front of the net. He just waited until he had the perfect opportunity to bury it. And you'll see the puck comes out in front of the net right here. Derek Campbell, just a little chip. And you'll watch Ziggy right here. He just waits until he gets the perfect opportunity to throw it up nice and high. Great goal, a goal scorer's goal.
Where he'll be taken. Iron arrow back to the line. It's intercepted. Lucas Havel and O'Brien. They go shoulder to shoulder. Klesla dancing in right side and then knocked down Stillman. At center, Stillman didn't see it coming. Blatch, oh, did he get clotheslined in front of the Kingston bench by Nathan Tennant. Practices with the kids, giving them the NHL influence, and look at that hit.
Yeah, that's Nathan Tennant. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he went flying in there and took Flash down, and he went.
One of the very large defensemen in this Brampton battalion lineup, and they got a bunch of them.
Oh!
Big chance in there for Kingston to open up the lead a little more. Jay and Mike Zigomanis.
Oh, here we got a fight here, Jack, in the corner with Flash and Tennant. This is the aftermath of the big hit over on the boards, and Flash just towers over Tennant. Just towers. He carried, what, a good 6-7 inches over Tennant, and the linesmen get in and break up the fight. But,
Tennant is listed at 6 feet 200.
Well,
Campbell looking for the long lead pass, but a lot of green shirts in the passing lane. Campbell gets it here. Now it's going to be a penalty. Cloutier is going to be going off.
well, Jack, Rusty Klesla knocked Cloutier with sort of a submarine hit up over top of Rusty Klesla, and then Cloutier came back at Klesla, and we'll see everybody's into it here now, but that happened right just inside the center ice area.
And Campbell trash talking Klesla while the linesman Derek Nancy's got a hold of Campbell to try and get him out of the pack.
Yeah, Klesla really was a bit of a submarine hit, a low hit on Cloutier. As soon as Cloutier got up, he just drove Klesla. And that caused the whole hayride here.
Now it looks like the linesmen have done a good job separating everybody. Now let's watch the exchange.
You'll see right here, he ducks. Actually, he just ducks. He thinks Cloutier's coming after him, and then as soon as he gets up, bam. Down goes Klesla. Great work on the cameras there, guys. They got that one good.
Yes, so did boards. Lucas Havel in deep as well as Klesla behind the net. Iron arrow running into Klesla. The crowd will enjoy that. But the period comes to an end, and so at least Kingston will have a chance to rest their penalty killers for the task at hand. The 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the major penalty against Brett Cloutier. That will be carried through to the third period, and they're still not done jawing at one another. Now Iron Arrow grabs Klesla from behind.
Yeah, he came in from behind and he grabbed him. Everybody's going to pair off here. Could get a little ugly. Iron Arrow came back around and grabbed Klesla from behind, and he's just standing there, and he's going to pick up his stick and say, that's it, I'm going off.
Well, everybody's going off. The period is over with. And we will no doubt get more penalties before this is over. And you saw the camera go by Larry Mavety, and he's still chirping in the direction of Carmen Cox. And a rather spirited end to this second period of play. It's 2-1 favoring Kingston. And we'll take a break and be back with our second intermission in just a moment. Stillman. Klesla keeps it in at the line. Now for the near half boards, back from Torres to Klesla, shooting it, scores! Tipped in front of the net to tie the game, and Brampton remains in the power play.
Well, a little bit of a pump to the fans there as well. He took a lot of abuse there when he left at the end of the second period, but he takes the big shot from the point, and he can crank it up. Last year in the Prospects game, they tested him at 97-mile-an-hour slap shot, so this guy can shoot it. You'll watch, the puck comes right back to him, and he just lets her go. You'll see good screen in front of the net, two guys in front of the net, and there's the shot that gets through. Two Brampton players providing the screen, a good hard shot.
Now it's going to be pushed back to the defenseman. Malenko holding up Elizabeth, who now gets loose. There's a pass across. Elizabeth scores! Zigomanis beating Elizabeth, and a short-handed goal restores the Kingston lead.
Now Zigomanis fights off Malenko along the boards, Jack. That was the key to the play, and he just kept his feet moving. Played a nice little pass across to Elizabeth, and I thought Maybe Elizabeth made one too many moves, but he was fortunate enough to get the puck under the sliding topping. You'll see here's Ziggy makes a nice little pass across, and I thought right there he made one too many moves, but there he is, able to bury it behind topping.
And Kingston regains the lead, and what a huge goal for them. Play.
Oh, big hit there, Jack, by Brock. Yeah, everything you wanted.
Off the draw, chance, Kingston! Oh boy, McCutcheon robbed there. Flashing away there is Paul Flatch. He won't be able to pull it out. Sagan walks in, shoots, scores! J.F. Sagan, nice little wrist shot into traffic, and it catches the corner of the net.
Well, Jack, we see the big slapper all the time from the point, but Sagan just threw a real nice, good, hard snapshot at the net. You'll see he just takes topping and maybe a little by surprise, but that was a good shot to the glove side. You see it comes out to the point here, and he just snaps it through. And he got a little piece of it, just enough to get across the line, though. And look, there's Stillman in front of the net, creating the screen.
Actually, I think Stillman may have gotten a piece of that. Off the skate of Cook, and then kicked inside the Brampton zone. Cook hammered by Flatch. Penalty coming up. Peter Flatch is going to go, and that might not
There we
be
go in
all.
the corner again. Here's Harrison going at it. With is it McCutcheon?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is McCutcheon. Harrison's a big boy.
Well, as we mentioned right off the top, this is the first meeting between these teams, and it just seemed like they had an edge coming into the game. A lot on the line. McCutcheon, well, that tie down is in place.
Yeah, I know. He can't see anything, but he's swinging. Good for him. Just keep those arms going. He got all tied up there, but he didn't stop. And Jay Harrison's a big boy. They had a good one there. Well, here's the play here where Flash going off and really takes player in hard right there, and he's called, and he's gone now for 2 minutes.
Will spring Havel running around one-on-one. He cuts nice over the middle, and McIver was there waiting for him.
Good hit. Good open ice hit.
Boy, that's 2 by Doug McIver in this game. On there against Bonus, and Belleville, or pardon me, Kingston will get it out. Stillman, he's got a partial break. Now he's in alone. Close back. Beautiful goal by Corey Stillman for his 25th.
Nice goal by Corey Stillman, Jack, as you mentioned. He's showing his goal-scoring savvy there. Just really takes away, just gets a stride on the defenseman there, and he's gone. Here he comes in, and watch, he just freezes topping right there and buries it.
Huge goal as Kingston now has a 3-goal lead, 5-2. 2.5 minutes left in the third period. Ionero, open man. Elizabeth takes one, then shoots. Oh, we had the open net.
Hello. Hello.
This game is pretty much over. Final few seconds. Brampton to center ice. Lucas Havel. He's going to gulp this one in, and as it comes off the boards, this game is over. And the Kingston Frontenacs win their 22nd game of the year. Oh, maybe it's not over yet, Mr. Lynch. Some lingering bad feelings. And this is the last thing you want in the league. Certainly takes a dim view of any post-game shenanigans.
Now they got to get off the ice, Jack. Get to their benches and just put it behind you, because you get a chance to play again later into the month of March. You can do a little payback then. You do not want to put yourself in a suspension situation now.
Kingston 55 points. Ottawa, if they hold on to their lead, they're up on Oshawa 3-0, would have 56, and they close the gap on Belleville. The Bulls are in Plymouth tonight and on a 5-game winless streak, and this Eastern Conference is right up for grabs. Larry Mavity feeling better after this one than he did after the second period. His team wins it 5-2 on the Brampton Battalion.
So it's in the books, a win for the Kingston Frontenacs on home ice. Be sure to join us next week. We move it an hour down the road for the Q&O getting together for the first time on the OHL Game of the Week. The Victoriaville Tigers against the Belleville Bulls. It's next Saturday at 2 on Global. Again, the final today. Travis Elizabeth scoring shorthanded in the third period. The game winner, Ziggy, a goal and 3 assists as the Frontenacs beat the Brampton Battalion 5-2. Don Martin for Jack Lynch and Jack Miller. So long from the OHL Game of the Week.
The OHL Game of the Week has been brought to you by Canadian Tire, still the right place. Dodge, proud sponsor of Major Junior Hockey. And by Bauer, leave an impression.
Gets it on goal. He scores! And right back in there again is Baker. Sidesteps his check, works out in front, he scores!